Good afternoon, folks. This afternoon's topic A, we are discussing grandma brain. Okay, so scientists say grandma brain is real and it refers to measurable shifts in how a grandmother's brain responds to her grandchildren, especially in regions tied to emotional empathy. What the researchers discovered. Studies led by Dr. James Railing at Emory University scanned the brains of 50 grandmothers while they viewed photos of their grandchildren, their adult children, and unrelated children. The findings were starking. Photos of grandchildren activated brain regions linked to emotional empathy, the ability to feel other person's emotions. Photos of their own adult grand ad, photos of their own adult children activated regions tied to cognitive empathy, the ability to understand other person's emotions without necessarily feeling them. This means grandmothers aren't just understanding what their grandkids feel, their brains are mirroring those feelings. If a grandchild smiles, the grandmother's brain lights up as if she's sharing that joy. If the child is distressed, her brain reflects that distress too. The neurological pattern helps explain why many grandmothers describe their love for grandchildren as unusually intense, sometimes even stronger or more overwhelming than what they recall feeling as parents. Writers and grandparents interviewed in these articles describe it as love on steroids. Sometimes it feels like my heart will burst with joy, a sense of being enhanced or besotted around their grandkids. Researchers suggest this emotional intensity may serve an evolutionary purpose, strengthening intergenerational bonds that supports caregiving, survival, and social cohesion. What might be behind it? Beyond brain scans, Scientists are exploring whether hormones like oxytocin, often called the love hormone, play a role. Ongoing research is comparing oxytocin levels in grandmothers to women of similar ages who aren't grandparents. Grandmothers may also experience fewer day-to-day stressors than parents, allowing them to be more emotionally present and attuned. So, do grandparents love grandkids more than their kids? Not exactly, but they may love them differently. Grandchildren, emotional empathy, feeling with them. Adult children, cognitive empathy, understanding them. The difference can make the grandparent grandchild bond feel uniquely tender, joyful, and immediate. Want help turning this into a polished article or podcast script? I can shape this into a full draft with a stronger narrative arc. Caregiver friendly framing or a version tailored to your audience in Meadville. Just tell me the tone you want. Newsy, warm, conversational, or science forward. Ever heard of grandma brain? Science reveals it is a thing, and it might be the reason we think grandparents love their grandkids more than their own children. Yes, grandma brain is real. Studies show that grandmothers' brains light up in regions tied to emotional empathy when they see their grandchildren, which may explain why their love feels so intense. What scientists actually found across multiple studies led by Dr. James Railing of Emory University, researchers scanned the brains of 50 grandmothers while they viewed photos of their grandchildren, their adult children, unrelated children. The results were remarkably consistent. Photos of grandchildren activated brain regions linked to emotional empathy. The circuitry that makes you feel another person's joy, distress, or excitement. Photos of their adult children activated regions tied to cognitive empathy, understanding someone's feelings without necessarily sharing them. The difference in neural activation is the scientific backbone of what many families have noticed for generations. The grandparent grandchild bond feels different, often more tender, immediate, and overwhelming. Why it feels like grandparents love their grandkids more. Researchers research doesn't say grandparents love their grandchildren more, but they love them differently. Emotional empathy triggered by grandchildren. If their grandchild is smiling, they're feeling the child's joy. If the child is crying, they feel the distress. Cognitive empathy triggered by adult children. Grandparents understand what their own uh, grandparents understand what their grown kids feel but don't mirror those emotions as intensely. Writers interviewed these articles describe the feeling as love on steroids. Sometimes it feels like my heart will burst. This emotional intensity may have evolutionary roots. Young children's expressions are designed to elicit caregiving responses, and grandparents historically played a key role in survival and social bonding. Why this matters for families. For caregivers and families, your audience, this science helps explain why grandparents often show bottomless patience with grandkids, why they may seem more relaxed or joyful in that role, why parents sometimes feel a pang of, hey, what about me? Understanding the brain's understanding the brain uh, bias can diffuse tension and open up healthier conversation about roles, expectations, and the beauty of integrational care. Okay, guys, that is your A for today. Give me a few for B, please, and I'll be back on with that for you. For now, Gator Wellness. Take care, folks.